little bit too severe, the kick out from Ben Hart. So a throw in, almost in Melbourne's left forward pocket. Now, they have finally caught up with Matthew Phoebe. And right above that is Peter McKenna.
Yes, Pete, I was just thinking about the Adelaide forward line. Nothing's happening at the moment. Modra's being well held by Shanahan. I don't know where their goals are going to come to. It might be a time to put Mark Rashudo down at full forward, put him one out in the square, because just nothing's happening for the Adelaide Crows up on the forward line.
Probably only one area of concern in doing that, Pete. The midfield group of Adelaide aren't supplying their forward 50-metre area enough. In the first quarter, it was Melbourne who dominated that part of the ground. It was 20 entries to 10, and at this stage, the second quarter, it's also been 8-5. So it's the midfield group of the Adelaide Crows have certainly got a lift. Rashudo only has had 5 possessions. He certainly needs to get into the game.
James McDonald will take the place of Phoebe.
There's some lacerations across the top of his nose and around his eye area from that boot of McLeod, I think, Pete, so he should be okay.
Should be okay? Okay,
yeah,
thanks,
no worries.
mate. Punch away, favours McDonald. Runs hard at the footy. Collected by Rashudo, who comes at him again. McLeod, lovely ball work. McLeod at centre wing. This is what the crowd loves to see from that champ. On to Rashudo. Rashudo down towards Modra. Perfect play. The best forward play from Adelaide so far.
And that just epitomises what quality players are all about. When you're bouncing the ball, you have to still assess your options on the way through. You don't want to put doubt into the forwards' minds when to lead and when not to lead. He released the ball to Rashudo. Maldra held his ground and led at the appropriate time.
439 career goals to Tony Modra. Can he make it 440? That looks pretty good. The goal umpire will indicate 4 points.
Tony Modra on screen. There's Tony Modra. Been the Crows' leading goal kicker for the past 5 seasons. Phoebe getting some attention. His best season, 129 back in 93. Has kicked 10 goals on this ground against Richmond also that year. So such an important player for the Crows. If he can come back to his very best.
Just a quick change, KB. We've got
Robinson's come onto the field.
The Ox has come off the ground for Russell Robinson. So David Schwartz just running out a bit of petrol.
Jarman short to Wren. Still inside the centre square. Very crowded Crows forward line.
And Steins, his opponent, has actually pushed back into that part of the ground to block up the space for Smart and Modra to lead into.
Well, there's not one player in Melbourne's half of the ground. They've got the numbers back there. Ingerson was the high flyer. Jimmy Steins feeds it off to Uze. They've got the numbers. Kicks back towards the centre wing. Viney out in front with strength. Just pushes Bickley over the line. They'll toss it back in. It's been magnificent, Todd Viney. 13 possessions and 3 marks. That's Schwartz having a breather. And there's the other end of the ground. You can see Melbourne pushed down every time the Crows go forward. They get the numbers in their defence. They crowd up the Crows forward line. Wren. Modra's the target. Shielded his eyes from the sun. Ingerson comes across in front. Couldn't hold it on the second grab. Vardy twisting and turning. Some fancy footwork. Da Costa stands and delivers to the square. Smart's got it. And the convention centre in Adelaide goes wild.
And this is a very important kick, KB. Nigel Smart must kick a goal here. From limited opportunities, they've got to kick the goals and get the team back in the contest.
Didn't play the last time these two sides met. He was suspended.
Probably run around.
Tough angle. He's got it.
Difference back to 22 points here at the MCG. The Crows getting their game into gear at last. Leon Cherry. Stevens will punch from the back. Not really effective in getting it away from his opponent. Bickley over the top. Now it's Rashudo. On to Edwards. To Jarman. Around Woden. Bickley again. Good tackle. That came from McDonald, who came on to replace Phoebe. That's James McDonald. We'll see a throw in on centre wing.
It's interesting to see. Here's the matchup between Jamie Shanahan and Tony Modra. Modra's only had 3 kicks. He's had kicked 1 goal, but the midfield of Darren Jarman, he's gone to that part of the ground. He's picked up by Liam Shalley. Obviously, he'll run fairly close with him, so he disallows him to get involved in this contest.
Tyson's kick was smothered. So too that one, and again it's out of bounds on centre wing. The benches seeing plenty of action. Jeff White there would be itching to get back into it. Stein's doing his job at the moment as he contests with Wren. Uze Well, it got collected by Rashudo. You wouldn't want that. Rigoni's kick is short. Adelaide with numbers. They don't have the football though. Caven will have to get back quickly. He does, from Robertson to James. Wren on the chest but couldn't complete the mark. Edwards nearly looks for a free kick. The umpire says no, you'd better play on. James, hand pass. Well, they're working hard now. Caven. Tyson. In the best sense of the Chapel brothers, a grubber. They're the best seen on this ground since then.
I think that was the best option though to do, Pete. He just had no one further afield to look forward to. Initially it was Brett James who decided to go short to the 50-50 contest of Sean Wren. That's what put that defensive group under a hell of a lot of pressure. With this boundary throw, and they've got a chance to stabilise the situation.
Well, the Crows certainly have stabilised their situation in the last few minutes. Jarman, Uze missed it. James on the bottom. Wren. McDonald missed it. Now Woden. No, it's not. It's Jarman, great bump. It was Woden. Holding the footy is the decision.
So I don't think that'd phase Malcolm Blight, seeing two of their players crash and bash against each other. It's just so important. Someone's got to put their hand up in the midfield. Here we see Jarman and also young Stevens go to the contest of Woden, but someone in the midfield for Adelaide has really got to stand up and deliver.
Well, a good tackle there by Stephen Phoebe.
And Peter, the intensity certainly lifted from the Adelaide Crows. It's sensational. Obviously, you can see it from above, but on the ground, you can just tell that the midfielders are starting to get a bit more of the ball, and the Adelaide halfbacks are starting to dominate. So Melbourne got to lift themselves.
Jarman, was he taken high? Got the football, but not according to the umpire. It's going to be a ball up. Now, Jeff White is preparing to come back onto the ground as we speak. So one would think that Jimmy Steins may come off for a rest. Steins against Wren once more. Over the top, smart. Jarman will look for a hand pass. Rashudo on the boundary line. Into the goal square it comes. A marking contest, and it goes through for one rushed behind.
Yeah, Rashudo just tried to kick the ball in front of that goal square, then maybe it could have gone out a little 5 or so metres further afield. So easy to defend when you're only 3 metres from your goal line, and that's what the Melbourne players did. Good defensive tactic.
Crows trail by 21 points. They trail by 28 points at quarter time as Phoebe pumps the ball in wide. Marsh, who's got Inglis in the beat, needs a kind bounce, does well. Slaps the ball over the line. Tingay coming off and Jimmy Stein, so a double change for Melbourne. White and Matthew Phoebe to come onto the field. Boundary throw in on centre wing. Woden and Rashudo. McDonald, James, does the ruck work. McLeod does well. Great evasive skills. The Norm Smith medalist from the half-forward line. Pumps the ball down, looking for Vardy. Knocked out of the way by Stephen Phoebe. Now a transfer of play to White, who's just come straight off the interchange bench. Feeds the ball off. Phoebe runs on, long raking handball. This is great play to Seacamp. Rockets the ball wide. Melbourne come through the centre of the field. Viney down towards Gary Lyon. Needed a kind bounce, didn't quite get it. Hart was beaten by Lyon. Quick snap, he needs a bounce. Through for a behind.
I think a major reason why the Adelaide team have stabilised the situation, I think they've finally got their matchups right in midfield. Like Bickley's now going with the rotation of either Viney or Leoncelli. That leaves sort of Jarman try to be free in midfield and unopposed at times. Goodwin's gone to Lyon and sort of stabilised that part of the ground, and Edwards has done a good job on Farmer.
Poor kick out been marked by Jeff White. Just saw the match up then between Jeff White and Sean Wren. A little between their stats. This is an important kick. Under 3.5 minutes left in this second quarter. Jeff White will be kicking from just outside of 50. Kicked 16 goals for the season. White goes to the square. It's going to drop short. And the big arms of Sean Wren go up and take the mark. It's been a great contest. We thought before the start of the game, White versus Wren, one of the big matchups. And that's the way it's panning out.
You'd think he'd go the other side of the ground because Jeff White, his opponent, is going to compete for this mark.
So he kicks to a pack of players, and here comes White. Should take the grab.
McCormick.
Well, take 2 for Jeff White. He's going to have another crack at him. Maybe a bit further out. Again, into the square. This has got plenty on it. What a goal.
2 minutes to go in the half. Both teams have kicked 2 goals in the second quarter. Melbourne led by 28 points at the first change. They look a lot better with White back on the ground. Tyson trying to crash his way through, but not successful inside the centre square. The umpire will come in to once again ball it up. 56 plays 28 here in the first qualifying final. Marsh out leapt by Jeff White. Huge punch. Leoncelli and Bickley. Bickley gets a push. His opponent gets the footy. Still Leoncelli from 50. Low raging drop kick. In the goal! What a play!
Yeah, terrific stuff there by Jeff White to clear the area of congestion and let the ball run to open field.
Was it a free kick though? He did give him a push, didn't he?
I suppose, Pete, but it's the speed of the midfield group from Melbourne. And this is terrific play from Leoncelli. He assessed his options. He got to the 50-metre arc. He's seen the space in front of him. Really took it upon himself. And you'd sense by his body language that he really attacked the 50-metre area, knowing the conversion was only 40 metres in flight away.
Brent on the bench, along with Robran and Shane Allen. Marsh in the ruck now, the youngster. Taken away by Costa. Time running out in this second quarter for the Crows. Stumped away by Ingerson's been so good across half back. Melbourne's been magnificent as they kick the ball back. That came from Uze inside the centre square. Picked up by Bickley. Feeds the ball back off to Stevens. Goes short. Looking for McLeod. It's had little impact on the game so far. Again, Melbourne's tackling has been superb. Uze from half back. Scrubby old kick. Back towards Neitz. Does well. Kept the ball alive. Robinson also finally runs the ball over the line. They'll toss it back in.
KB, I don't know how you saw it. That was a terrible non-umpiring decision with a push in the back to Bickley.
I thought it was, Curls, I must admit.
Melbourne by 34 points. Marsh down to Jarman. Short kick. Matthew Phoebe.
Oh,
good interception by Connell. He's just come off the interchange bench. Inside 50. Ingerson backing back. He'll be loving his game today against his old side. A transfer of play. Stephen Phoebe. Plenty of hard running from Melbourne. It's really upset the Crows today. They run hard with the ball. They carry it. Here's Stephen Phoebe to the half-forward line. Neitz playing in front. Stevens to beat. Dragged off the ball. Leoncelli falls to ground. Tackling. Fantastic across the half-forward line. Jarman just pushed his opponent out there and Leoncelli couldn't take the ball. And they'll ball it up on the half-forward line.
Well, Rigoni gets himself up. 62 plays 28. And again, Jimmy Steins watches from the boundary. Neitz is going to do the ruck work against Marsh. Won by the latter. Good tackle by Rigoni. Rashudo's got it. Marsh gets out the hand pass, but the siren goes to end the first half. Melbourne take the points for the first 2 stanzas. A 3-goal second term after 6-6 in the first. Adelaide looked to be getting back into the contest, I suppose, through 2/3 of the second quarter. But a late thrust. Interestingly, I thought when Jeff White came back onto the ground, they seemed to lift, and he certainly kicked that great goal when Sean Wren booted it to him. Subsequent to that, Wren got taken off.
Yeah, well, he's such an exciting talent, and his second quarter was exceptional. He had 6 possessions, but more importantly, his height became a critical factor across half-back or even floating forward. He had 6 marks that quarter. There's the Adelaide coaching box. Obviously, no movement in there. Malcolm Blight and the match committee are deep in thought, thinking how they can get their troops back into this contest, because it's certainly Melbourne at this stage.
Yeah, the D's go in with a very handy lead at half-time. Certainly not a match-winning one. Crows have got to get more out of McLeod, North Smith medalist of last year. He had Jeff Farmer as an opponent in the first quarter. And Farmer booted 3 goals. He's now got 4, but Farmer was a lot quieter, certainly during the second term, early on matched up by Tyson Edwards. So from the MCG, we'll take a break from the first qualifying final. We're back in just a moment.